So here we are for this week's podcast, joined by
Esther
and
Elizabeth.
So you two have you're like week 3 on a CRY and KCC internship.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Which do you prefer?
We can't disclose that. I just want to say that CRY did give us a whole welcome pack before, but
Yep.
KCC did lack on that one, but I'm not taking that into consideration, so I can't speak on that.
But you got bribed.
Yeah.
Great. So whereabouts are you both from?
So I'm from Southampton, and KCC's been my church for quite a little while. But yeah, it's really excited to like be properly in a circle now, be part of the staff. You know,
Yeah.
it's a different vibe, isn't
Yeah.
it?
More stressful.
I'm Elizabeth, and I come from Hailsham. No,
Yes.
I kind of come from Hailsham. I've lived there for like years now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did actually used to go to KCC, but
Yeah.
it's quite wonderful.
Can you remember how old you were when you moved?
I was like 9, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're both on doing the internship.
Mhm.
What kind of led you to do it, or what does this year look like for you?
So for me, like the internship, the bit that kind of drew me to it was the bit of time abroad that we get to spend. So in mid-December, I'm going to Nicaragua, Bolivia, and Peru.
Amazing. And this isn't holiday, is it?
Nope.
No.
This is volunteering. Just so everyone knows, not holiday.
Yeah.
This is volunteering. So I'm going to visit some other projects there.
Mm-hmm.
And what drew me to it is like my dad did a gap year when he was really young, and that kind of just like changed his life. And I just want to kind of have the same experience. I've lived abroad before.
Yeah.
And then I feel like just doing it alone, like will be something different, traveling alone, and then also like just helping people, you know. I'm just really excited for that.
Yeah.
I didn't really know what I wanted to do, and so I thought I'd do a gap year. And I kind of just researched around, and CRY had the most interesting program, and it's quite like diverse. Like you get to work still in a church, and you still like get to go abroad, which I thought sounds really cool. And then I also like the theological training that would come alongside it, and I thought that'd probably be like a really good year to help me grow as a Christian.
Yeah. And this is like, we've got you two doing this podcast because actually doing an internship, especially with CRY, who are working in some really vulnerable, horrific situations and stuff, it actually does link really well with the book of Micah, in that, you know, it's set in a backdrop where there's just full of violence, idolatry, and I mean the pagan sacrifice. You might find when you go to Peru, you can see all the pagan, you know, stuff. So actually, it's different for us as our home nation, but actually, when you go to the nations, there's not much that is different than what was set in Micah's time. You know, there was a bit in the preach where it's, you know, it's this question posed of, well, what can we do for God? And it was a beautiful response back of like, actually there's nothing we can do for God, but do you remember I always get it confused. I'm like, love, mercy, act humbly, but it's not, is it? So
act justly, love mercy, and walk humbly with your God.
Yeah,
there you go, that's what it is.
Yeah,
we have it literally in our dining room.
Do you?
Yeah, at home. So it's still in my head since I was like young.
You should have got that
right.
right.
Yeah. And actually, I got baptized on Sunday, and by chance, I was wearing the top that said that, like,
really?
That's like the only like Christian top I had, and like that just happened to be Mike. I didn't even realise, but yeah.
So you've had that ingrained in you, yeah. Have you heard of that, like that saying before? And no. So I think when he says like we've got to do what is right, we've got to act justly, what does that look like? How can we have God's heart for injustice? Do you feel like you've got a heart for injustice for a specific type of people or cause or thing that's going on in the world?
Yeah, so like the main project I'm going to visit is in Bolivia, and like Latin America in general has quite like high rates of like sexual abuse, child exploitation, domestic abuse and stuff like that. So I just feel like that's something that God's placed in my heart from like quite a young age. Like just working with girls that have been through trauma like that. And part of like the project I'm going to be doing is kind of using dancing and baking and arts and crafts to like help deal with like the trauma and stuff like that. Like obviously I can't like completely save everyone, like of course, but like just doing things that you usually would do as a childhood when like your innocence kind of been stripped away like that, will just be like I'm just can't wait for that. And then also because I used to live in a Latin American country, so like the gift that's of Spanish, that I can speak Spanish that God's given me, like it's just
amazing.
I'm just can't wait to use that and actually like communicate, like openly communicate with the girls and like have that time, you know, of actually being able to like conversate with them, you know. So that's such a big thing that God has placed on my heart, and also like in the future, so I want to do law after this, and so like maybe after I like get like have a career here, I definitely want to go back and give my legal skills to people that like usually don't have that.
So needed.
Because most of the time they don't receive justice for these things that happen to them, because it's quite like like machismo society and chauvinistic. So just being able to use those gifts and skills that God will give me and has given me to like help as much as I can is my heart.
Absolutely incredible. And like you say, even in like the normal everyday today things of baking and dancing, that there is such beauty that God uses in those normal things, and you know so
especially with dance, like it's taking control of your body that like has obviously like been abused before, so I just can't wait to explore that.
Oh, they are gonna love that so much. What about you, Elizabeth?
I have like this passion for like children with additional needs, and I just feel like they're so like represented and underrepresented in like most countries, and I just think of like my uncle who has Down syndrome, and I just think like how could anyone like hurt them or like you know, abuse them if like they just knew that it was just a condition and not a demon, or like just like knew how like actually how special and what a blessing these children can really be in just in
so
life.
I think even in our country there's still so much more we can do, isn't there, in terms of actual awareness and understanding, and even just accessibility and inclusion. But like you say, there in some countries it is viewed in such a horrific way of, oh, you must be possessed by a demon, or you know, and so oh, you girls are gonna have an amazing year, and just really be used by God in incredible ways. So then it was act justly, love mercy. This bit got to me in the preach, because it was just like the whole thing around. So Alex in Totten posed a question of like, do you delight in showing mercy to others? And of course you just want to say yes, of course I would, but I'm like, if someone parks outside the front of my house in my car parking spot, I'm like, oh, I hate that car. And you're just like, it's a public road, it's not even our parking space. So it's just like, actually there is you know, do you find it easy, hard to delight in showing mercy? Are there times where it's been easy, times where it's been difficult? Is it the small things, the big things?
I think for me, like, it's been a journey. Like, definitely when I was younger, I used to just, like, my brother used to annoy me. I just never used to have any patience, like never any mercy for him. But like, kind of just after understanding the mercy that God has shown me, like, who am I not to show that to other people? Like, I just feel that my sin was so great that like no other sin is like can match, you know. So who am I not to like forgive that? So I just feel like understanding more of God's mercy for you really helps you to show mercy to others and helps you delight in it, because like it's a joy to show mercy to people, and it's a joy to actually like help people or be kind to people that have not like treated you in the best way, because it's actually a way of showing God through you as well. So just viewing it that way has really changed my perspective.
And you realise that you are also an annoying sister as much as he's an annoying brother. Have you got annoying brothers?
Yeah, I got 3.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Need a lot of mercy.
A lot.
Mm-hmm.
I find showing mercy hard, definitely. I feel like small things just easily irritate me. But I think it's also just been like a thing, something that you just have to learn. And also you just got to think about all the people who've shown you mercy, like in your life, and that kind of helps.
Yeah. I think it is just that whole realization of like, oh, I'm actually not perfect. Like, I am somebody else's annoyance, or but I thought that was really, really challenging. Even just like say, on the small things, and then when it gets to I think maybe if you can do it on the small, you can hopefully do it on the big ones as well. I think, I mean, we've kind of already said about it, but then it says to walk humbly with our God, and I think there's something really in that actually we do find it hard to love mercy, to delight in mercy, and show mercy, and so it's got to be out of a place of walking with God, and that realization of like what you're saying, like, well, God has forgiven us of like so much, and it's not even just the forgiveness, is it? It's the acceptance and the being welcomed into his family, and then being blessed, and then it's just trying to remember that.
Being humble is something that definitely going on a journey of that. And I think this internship will really help us to learn to be humble, because even when we were in the meeting at the start, they were just like, there's nothing too small. You're still serving God's like kingdom. So even if I'm sweeping the floors, even if I'm setting up for youth, like no matter what I'm doing, I'm still serving God. Like I don't have to be on a platform. I don't have to be speaking or anything. Like everything you can do is for God, and sometimes God actually delights more in the little things. And when you don't want to do something, that actually is more valuable to him, because it's like sacrifice. That's what worship is. It's like sacrificing something. It's not just singing songs when you like it. Like it's in the hard times, you know. So I think being humble is definitely a really big form of sacrifice that we all need to learn, because the whole world teaches us that we should big ourselves up and we should be egotistical and we should look out for number one, you know. So being humble, it allows you to serve people like how Jesus served his disciples, washing their feet and everything. So it's definitely a big thing we all need to learn, and we can all do more to be more humble, definitely.
I saw this thing where I think it was like on Instagram Reels, and my husband will tell me off because he's like, not everything's true on Instagram, but it's like this, you know, perspective of if you were told it's your last day on earth, what would you do? And you'd be like, oh, I'm going to eat this food, or I'm going to go do this, do that. And it was like, actually Jesus on the last day that he knew, he washed the disciples' feet. Exactly, and it's a countercultural mindset, isn't it, of
definitely
like, I'm laying myself down, and I'm going to be obedient and open to whatever God has for me today, in the very small, or in the becoming a lawyer and fight, like do you know what I mean? There's so many ways that each and every one of us can do this.
Definitely,